Hope you got your harness slipped off again. Come here. Oh, I keep these harnesses kind of loose, and I don't want she gets slipped through. I gotta readjust sometimes. I don't know how you do that, but you do. Okay. I'm gonna say hi. I'm gonna say hi. Yeah. You know, I guess, harassment is, I don't know, is harassment part of life? Should it be part of life? Is harassment a byproduct of a regulated society? I mean, there were times in human history when there's probably very little harassment going on. And for good reason. But the way I handle matters in my life now is administratively. I have a team. I have a fiduciary. I have an accountant, and I have a lawyer. And that's who deals with my matters now. The old days of what do they say? Put up their dukes is it's gone by the wayside. However, this sort of society where punishments for, I don't know, defending one's honor, would it be? Well, just say it isn't very profitable for me to always be out in not legal advice, but it's not very profitable to be fighting everybody I run across that shows me a little bit of disrespect. It's not feasible. It can end badly for me. I really don't care how it ends for them. It can end badly for me. Okay, so that being said, avoidance is a good way to. I'm gonna go up these hills over here. We haven't been over here in a long time. We haven't been over here in a long time, have we? Avoidance is really, think about it. Avoidance is kind of like abstinence of the tactical world. I mean, you think about it, it's boring. It's doesn't seem like I'm really living, but it still is the number one effective way to just more or less stay out of trouble. But there was a time where, there was now whenever, people give me problems, it's documented. It's, it's passed on to the appropriate authoritative bodies of whatever organization I'm in, or, whatever locale I'm in, and it's documented. That's how it's handled now, The old, well, yeah, I'm just a snitch or whatever. If it's directed directly to me, then it's documented and it's logged. And there was a time, there was a gray area, I could say, in our society where there was an impasse. There was an impasse where people, felt free to harass without any sort of repercussions because they had rules to protect them. But no administrative bodies to really regulate them, or at least I didn't feel like I should have regulated them. Example of this is when I went to the police academy years ago. This was a long time ago, and I just had kind of people there giving me a bad time. There was a group of people in the class. I mean, I guess you could say they're kids. We were all kids. I was like 23 at the time, and that's what I get for trying to be successful. Well, anyway, I was going to this thing, and there's a few people there that just always had a few choice words for me, whatever. And it got toward the end, it kind of actually got really tiresome for other people to listen to because I wasn't going anywhere. I was so far in on this thing I was in that I was going to complete it come hell or high water. And you know, I'm not going to, I'm just having to listen to this crap every time I come in, every other day or so. And then sometimes they were in a good mood, sometimes they're in a bad mood. And the thing about law enforcement is, you know, you can get a lot. I mean, sometimes in law enforcement, one ego of a law enforcement personnel, just one ego could fill a whole room. I mean, really. And you got like a whole room full of them. All right? And these are just, you know, these are cadet people, whatever. Some of them were reserves with agencies in my area, whatnot. You are just being quite the pill today. You get caught up too. Oh, I gotta adjust my baby's harness here. The other one. Okay. And anyway, it just got kind of so tiresome after a while that like other people would kind of take notice of this thing, and they would say, "Hey, you know, Cantwell, you know, come run with us." They'll be up there messing with them guys. Come run with us. We'll be on a run or doing PT or something, or you know, yeah, Cantwell, you know, listen to those guys, Cantwell, or you know, we had a little get together in off hours, and one of them said, you know, I can't believe they all said that stuff to you as much as they did. I really thought you were just going to kind of fold and leave and go away. And, you know, I mean, it was, well, the program won't complete itself. You know, I have a lot of money and time invested in this thing, you know, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I will march right through that program, and I will march right up to the graduation ceremony and graduate. And it literally almost came down to I almost didn't make it. The last night I was kind of choking pretty hard with report writing. I always thought I was a pretty good writer, but man, I mean, I wasn't doing too good. But anyway, they said that the night before we were practicing for graduation, and the night before we were supposed to walk on the the night before, whatever. We were supposed to basically nearly walk on our graduation night, and what had happened was you had squad leaders and you had class leaders, and I noticed our class leader kind of kept hanging out in the cantina, kind of stood in the corner and kind of began to kept quiet and watch things. And I was like it was kind of unusual, I thought. It was just usually he's always got something to say or whatever, and then after a while he was just kind of standing there. And so got a squad leader. God, sorry about this. Got a guy showed up, has a couple little dogs with him, and he's okay, but you know, I don't know what the dogs are gonna do. His dogs used to actually run into my old place of work. And so if he's the kind of person where the dog knows how to get out of the car and run into your old place of work, I guess leashes are not an option with this gentleman, so I'm just taking mine up here. But anyway, oh, look at there. Got a nice boxer over there too. I didn't even see him. Glad I'm pulling out when I did. But anyway, he shows up like the last, I think it's like the night before, the last day of class. And he shows up, and and this wasn't the only guy saying it. He was just like the number one sayer of choice things to me. And he shows up, and I mean, the squad leader shows up. The class leader is kind of keeping quiet now, like he's looking like he's watching something. Watching that, I don't know if he's watching our interactions or what, but it looks like he's watching something. So the squad leader comes in. Okay, and I'm gonna get to the point here. This is the night before we're supposed to graduate, and he said he said something to the effect of, you know, Cantwell, we don't like all those things that so-and-so is saying to you, and we want to know, you know, if you would like to take this up through the proper channels and have something done about this. So I'm like, well, I say, it's not a problem yet, but as soon as it becomes a problem, I'll of course be the first to let you know. I mean, could you imagine? Like, I'm coughing a little bit because of the two-stroke motor on the blower, and I had to clear out of there. But could you imagine, like, anything on up to actually having a permanent complaint in someone's file, all the way to just washing out, like, the second, like, all the POs were taken care of, everything, all the coursework was done? Can you imagine, like, being kicked out for disciplinary problems, like 48 hours before, like something like 48 hours, 72 hours before you're supposed to graduate? It was like 3 to 2 days before we're supposed to graduate. We're actually in the middle of, I think, remember, right? We're in the middle of graduation practice. I forget exactly the details of it, but could you imagine being kicked out of a program or being disciplined, like right before you're given a certificate and walking? Could you imagine that? And I don't know if that was a CYA move that they were making, whatever. You know what? Whatever. Okay. But it was interesting because halfway through it, there were other, students saying that, like, yeah, we don't like the things he's saying to you. And another guy says, yeah, I thought you were just going to leave altogether. And these were like about 2/3 of the way through. People were expressing like, hey, we really don't like the way this guy's talking to you. And I thought it was kind of interesting how he approaches me with that. I'm like, what? I don't know. I wasn't going to say or do anything. I wasn't going to cause any issues for the school. But pretty interesting. But now, things are handled administratively. And if I was to do that, and something like that was to happen again, it would be like files, letters in the files. I mean, they look at me wrong. That's and I went through life a lot doing like that. If I had issues at work now, I never, like in my jobs, I never called the union. I never filed complaints against anybody. But now, I guess you could say that the world's maybe changed a bit post-COVID. It's almost like, the way the world was post-World War II. There's been changes, and now it's like, well, I already see what it's like to go through and put up with stuff, and really, it's kind of like I've become the person that rather put the thumb screws down, lay the law down, than put up with anything. And to be the person that gave people like that a real wide berth, now, I won't even give them a spoonful of water to sail their boat on. I'm that bad. Could you imagine that? All right, well, I'm gonna get the heck out of here. It's become a mess out here right now. But hey, don't worry about the haters. Just let the haters worry about you. And that's that. Bye-bye.